Hello and welcome. I am Miss Rudden, the head of a department at All Saints, and I'll be introducing to you the English literature course at the school. The exam board that we follow is OCR, and it is a 2-year course which is linear structure. In order for you to qualify for the course, you will need a minimum grade requirement of a 6 in literature and language. You will study 5 texts in preparation for the exam, and the texts are as follows: Hamlet, The Great Gatsby, Paradise Lost, Book 9 and 10, Duchess of Malfi, and Age of Innocence. And you also have a unit on American literature between 1880 to 1940, where you will study a variety of prose extracts to discuss context, themes, and so on. The course also includes a coursework element to it, which is 20% of the qualification. It includes a portfolio of two essays, in total 3,000 words. One of them is a poetry task in response to a range of poems from Sylvia Plath, and you will be asked to write a 1,000-word essay on that. And there will also be a comparison essay of a play and a prose text, where you'll be expected to write an essay of about 2,000 words for this. There are 2 exams of 2 hours and 30 minutes each. Here's some specification details for you. The actual course structure is divided into 3 components. Component 1 is a Shakespeare question, and the text to study is Hamlet. Then the second part of the exam of component 1 is a drama and poetry component unit, where students will be studying the Duchess of Malfi and will write a comparative essay comparing Paradise Lost, books 9 and 10, with the Duchess of Malfi. Component 2 is a close reading of American literature ranging between 1880 to 1940, and also a comparative and contextual study of The Great Gatsby and the Age of Innocence. Component 3 is the coursework element, where students will produce a 1,000-word essay on Ariel from Sylvia Plath and a comparative essay of 2,000 words from The Glass Menagerie and The Purple Hibiscus. For more information about the content, please feel free to click on the link or to visit the site, the official website of OCR, to get some information about the specification and the exams. On the screen, you will see some information about the key skills and assessment criteria in order for students to prepare for these exams. So in terms of Shakespeare, for example, students will be expected to explore the writer's use of language and dramatic effects. They will be expected to consider issues raised by the extract provided and to be able to make links and connections with the rest of the play. They will also be expected to provide an informed and creative response based on further reading and independent research using associated concepts and terminology, but most importantly, they should be able to present their ideas coherently, accurately in written expression. Students will be encouraged to read around the text so that they're able to provide with informed different interpretations across time. As for the drama and poetry section, where students will be expected to study the Duchess of Malfi and Paradise Lost, books 9 and 10, they'll be expected to explore contrast and connections and comparisons between those texts. They'll be expected to explore ways in which texts relate to each other and to literary traditions, movements, and genres. They'll be discussing how they understand the significance of cultural and contextual influences on readers and the writers, and they'll also be expected to identify and consider how attitudes and values are expressed in the chosen text. As for the comparative and contextual study, which is the component paper 2, the close reading of American literature between 1880 to 1940, students will be required to read widely and independently about the topic of study. They'll be asked to demonstrate close reading skills in analyzing unseen prose extracts. They will also need to identify and consider how attitudes and values are expressed in unseen extracts, where they will communicate these ideas fluently, accurately, and effectively, where knowledge and understanding and judgment of unseen extracts are coherently expressed. They will need to analyze ways in which the writers shape meanings, and they should be able to demonstrate understanding of the significance and influence of contexts in which literary texts are written and received. They will be also expected to produce articulate, informed, personal, creative responses using associated concepts and terminology and coherent, accurate written expression. As for the comparative essay of American literature, where students will study Age of Innocence and The Great Gatsby, students will also be expected to explore contrast, connections and comparisons between different literary texts within the American literature and the context of the American literature. They'll be required to explore ways in which texts relate to one another and to literary traditions, movements and genres. Students will also have to explore ways in which texts are interpreted by different readers, including over time, and they'll be expected to use literary critical concepts and terminology with understanding and discrimination. They'll have to demonstrate understanding of the significance and influence of contexts in which the chosen texts were written and received, exploring connections as suggested, and also making use of key terminology in their written expression when exploring different interpretations after reading around the text. And here's some more detailed information about the coursework, which is component 3 of the A-level course. At the end of AS, which is year 1 of your A-level, you will complete 2 coursework tasks, which will, when combined, total 3,000 words and be worth 20% of your A-level overall. Task 1 is a close reading of 15 marks based on Ariel's Sylvia Plath, and Task 2 is worth 25 marks based on 2 literary texts, which is Purple Hibiscus and Age of Innocence. In terms of assessment structure, the component 3, which is the coursework component, is 20% of the total A-level. The other 2 exams, component 1 and 2, are 40% each. They're equally weighted. Each paper is also 2 hours 30 minutes long, and both papers are worth 60 marks. The course is split between 2 teachers. There are 5 hours of English literature weekly, and lessons are structured to cover a range of skills. The A-level in English literature will require learners to show knowledge and understanding of the ways in which writers shape meanings in texts, the ways in which texts are interpreted by different readers, including over time, the ways in which texts relate to one another and to literary traditions, movements and genres, and the significance of cultural and contextual influences on readers and writers. The OCR A-level in English literature will require students to develop judgment and independence as they synthesize and reflect upon their knowledge and understanding of a range of literary texts and ways of reading them. English literature at A-level at All Saints is thoroughly enjoyed. What you see on your screen is just some of the testimony of our students who have thoroughly enjoyed the subject and are grateful for having picked that subject and coached by our teachers. It is with great joy that we can say that our students have progressed successfully to university and to future careers through their study of English literature. There are innumerable future pathways when you choose English literature as a subject. I will just name a few here. Teaching is one, politics, media, script writing, law, writer, editor, marketing professionals, broadcasting professionals, being able to work in business as an entrepreneur. There are too many to name it because the main key skill that you learn through English literature at A-level is that of communication, which is applicable anywhere. It is highly recommended that independent research is carried out by students who choose English literature at A-level. On the screen, there are some of the recommended sites by the examining board, but we encourage students to be very hungry learners, that they're able to take the initiative to go and explore the internet and find information about the course or the text they're studying. If you've got any questions or concerns regarding the subject, please email me on the email address that is shown on your screen.